What is going on, my Saab friends? Today I'm going to show you how to service and hopefully repair the HVAC vent on your 2007 to 2011 Saab 9.3. Now what happens is, if you're trying to service the radio, change it, and you need to get to it, well, unfortunately you have to take this guy out, and it is no easy task. So you have 3 tabs up top here, similar case in the bottom, 3 tabs, and they are very tricky to get to with this so tight in the dash. Now what I figured out was, if you get a bunch of screwdrivers, or you kind of work your way along there, putting a screwdriver in there and then sliding like a credit card or something in there, and then working your way around to the 6 tabs, this will eventually pop out. But pretty much 9 times out of 10 what happens is this kind of falls apart. And what I mean by falling apart is this side is actually perfectly fine, nice sturdy, no issues. This one is troublesome. It is very loose, it gets bound up. There is just something wrong with it, and what the specific problem is, there's just no tension. There's a tiny little spring that is this guy right here that oftentimes falls out because you're putting a lot of pressure whenever you're working your way around here, and sometimes this bends an awkward way and that spring pops out. And sometimes even worse is what holds that spring in place, little vents and all kinds of stuff in there, those get scattered all over the place. So this one isn't entirely blown apart, but it's worth fixing because this is pretty annoying. So let's give it a go. Little armature pops right off. Set that to the side. So there you go, nice and exploded, but not impossible to put back together. So if your vent explodes like this, don't be alarmed. There is a lot of small pieces here, a couple springs and whatnot, but it's really not that scary. The thing to note is that one side, right here on the left, is bigger than the right, not to mention the right curves down. So whenever you're looking at these small pieces that more than likely exploded on you, you have 2 main sizes. You have this guy right here, and then this guy right here with this awkward section which steps down because of the curved. And there's pretty much just 4 of each. You have that guy, this one, same exact size, stacks on it, this one, same size, stacks on it, and then the very last one, same size, just has this. So those all stack on one another, and then same thing with these guys. Awkward shape, stack all of those, this guy on top. And then whenever we're putting this back together, note how this side is smooth, top is smooth, bottom is pricklies, I guess you'd say, and then this side, same thing. So you have the vent. Let me set the camera down. And what you want to start off with is have these little guys face like such. And then you have this guy, and notice how this is kind of like round in comparison to the other ones, where these are perfectly rectangular, that's round. Well, guess what? That stacks like such. And we'll keep stacking till we get them all in. It's number 3. And then number 4 with the flat piece. All of those are stacked on. And in reference, looking at it this way, the top is smooth and then the inner is smooth. So we're going to do the same thing with this. So again, switch it to right there. So notice how this is more open and the slot goes like that. So you want it facing like that. And set the 4 of these guys on here. We got 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. And again, note how these are all rectangular with the exception of these guys, and that is what you'll be placing around there. So same thing, smooth up top, smooth on the inner, and then this is what it looks like right now on the inside. So because there's nothing holding it in place, they're all over the place, it can easily fall out. So hold them on here. Get my trusty duct tape to support it. So next we'll be setting these guys on there. Then you have these little guys. They are 2 different lengths. Long side over here, short side over here, and then it's got this ridge that goes inside that slot. Let me just move this to the side real quick and talk about the springs. The springs, there are going to be 2 of them. They're both very thin, small, and if you lose them, you can make your own. Now, I don't know what size they are. Let me measure these real quick. So these little springs, you can actually make your own. So basically, one of them is 1 9/16". That's going to be the smaller one. And the other one is 1 13/16". And as far as thickness goes, I would say right around, if not a little bit smaller than a paperclip. So you may be able to kind of straighten out a paperclip or use the long edge of it to make your springs. I mean, they're really not that stiff, not that thick, and they're relatively small. But this is going to be the number 1 pain in the butt, is losing these. So just make your own. So take your long spring. Now this is exactly how it sits in the car, is just like this, with this section diving down. So you take your long spring, you'll set it in the bottom channel there, and place it in there. And then same process for the small guy. Stick it in the bottom ridge and then place it like such. So now is when you can kind of place your thumbs here, set it down, hope for the best. But what we'll actually do, we'll kind of reverse order it. This is the larger side, and this is the small side that dives down. So get the long piece, place it in here like such. Slowly work one side at a time. Now is a great time to get some zip ties. Fish it through. Actually, we'll do this corner, fishing it through all the way to the other end. And then be smart about how you put the zip ties in here, because clearly you don't want to go this way and not be able to fish it out. So make sure the big end isn't inside, it's on the outside. Go all the way from one corner into the other. Make sure the 2 tabs are locked in on the top, 3 tabs locked in on the bottom. Kind of move it around just a smidge. Make sure there's some resistance there. Now you're good to cut the zip ties. Once it's assembled, don't forget the little lever, and it's pretty easy. You're just gonna pop it in the top, pop it in the side right there. So there is 2 spots it can go. Might be hard to pick up, but one right there and one right there. Looking at the vent, it's the one on the top, goes down, and is held in with pressure. There you go. Now you have a working HVAC vent just like it was meant to be. So install of this whole assembly is much, much simpler than pulling it out. It just pops in. So I will have a video about how I get this out, hopefully without exploding it. But if, worst case scenario, you do blow up your vent, this video should help you. So if you liked it, be sure to like, subscribe, share. That definitely helps me out. I get to create more videos like this to help fellow Saab friends out. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to drop a comment down below, and I will see what I can do for you. Catch you guys next time.